thing on?
The Save America Act is President Trump's #1 legislative priority right now. It passed in the House in February with every single Republican and one asshole Democrat voting yes. Now, the man who wrote it, Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah, said at a press conference last week that if it fails, it would be, quote, a suicidal move for Republicans. He also said publicly that without this bill, Republicans will lose power likely for a long time. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, the most powerful Republican in the Senate, confirmed that if it doesn't pass, it becomes a campaign issue in the fall. So before we get into a single word of what this bill actually does, you already know why they want it. And I want you to keep that in mind for everything that follows. Now, here's what the bill actually says. Every American who wants to register to vote or update their registration has to show up in person to a government office to prove citizenship with a passport or a certified birth certificate. Your driver's license doesn't count. And in 45 states, your real ID, it doesn't count. Your student ID, forget about it. Now let's talk about what this can cost. A passport costs about $165. A passport card, $65. A certified birth certificate up to $100 depending on your state. Over half Americans don't have a valid passport, and only 1 in 5 Americans earning under $50,000 a year has one. See, there's a word for charging people to vote. The 24th Amendment calls it a poll tax. It's unconstitutional. The Supreme Court confirmed in 1966, Harper v. Virginia, when they struck down a poll tax for $1.50. $1.50. They wrote, quote, the decree of the discrimination is irrelevant. $1.50 was too much, and now they're asking for $165. Now, here's what nobody's connecting. At the same time that this bill moves through Congress, Rubio's State Department has cut passport office staffing in half and has removed the ability for you to do it at local libraries. You now have to travel to an official government office. Requiring documents, making the documents harder to get. That's not a coincidence. That's the system. Now let's talk about women. Pew Research 2023, 79% of married women took their spouse's last name. Now, there are roughly 90 million married women in America. That's 71 million women whose birth certificates no longer match their legal names. Under this bill, 71 million women need a birth certificate and a marriage certificate and a photo ID. Many Black women born before the Civil Rights era were never even issued a birth certificate. The hospitals serving their communities were underfunded. Those records don't even exist. Those women are alive. And this bill just told them that they can't vote. So now who pays for all this? You're going to love this. The National Association of Counties ran the numbers. National implementation cost $510 million per election cycle. Between 700,000 and 1.2 poll workers need retraining to verify documents most election offices have never been asked to verify. And the federal contribution to that? Zero. Washington State alone, $35 to $39 million for one midterm. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs said on the record that we aren't budgeted for that. So the party of small government just designed the biggest voting bureaucracy in American history and handed the American taxpayer the fucking bill. Now, here's something that's important to note. The great state of Kansas, they already ran this experiment back in 2013, requiring proof of citizenship to register. So before the law, non-citizen registrations were, and I need you to hear this number, 0.002% of voters. Afterwards, 31,000 eligible American citizens were blocked. 12% of all applicants locked out. A federal court struck that shit down. Republicans watched Kansas happen, and now they're trying to do it nationally with the Save America Act. Utah just reviewed over 2 million registered voters, one of the most comprehensive citizenship audits ever conducted on the state level. One confirmed non-citizen registration and 0 instances of actual voting. One person. That's what $165, a gutted passport office, 71 million women's marriage certificates, $510 million of your tax dollars, and a recycled 100-year-old playbook is protecting us from. One person who didn't fucking vote. We need people to know about this. So please share and let's kick the shit out of these crooks in November. Links in bio for all my research. Thanks for listening.